It's a video game review! How original! Anyways, a guilty pleasure of mine has been the Pokemon spin-off games.
Their quality is all over the place, ranging from decent to why hasn't there been a sequel yet to dear merciful crap, why was this even made? On the lower end of the quality scale is what I'd like to call the Pikachu series. Previous games in this spin-off series are Hey You Pikachu and Pokemon Channel. Hey You Pikachu is basically a virtual pet which you talk to with a microphone, and Pokemon Channel is basically a virtual pet which you watch TV with and was notable for two things. The first being where the Meowth's Party tech demo from Space World 2000 went, and the second was in Europe and Australia. It was the only way to get Jirachi and Ruby and Sapphire. Poképark Wii is loosely based off of the Pokemon theme park creatively called Poképark. From what a quick look at Wikipedia and Bulbapedia showed, it was only open in 2005 in Japan and 2006 in Taiwan. You didn't have to pay to get into the park itself, but you did have to pay for each individual attraction, something that is actually mirrored in the game. From what I could tell, the attractions are just normal rides given a Pokemon theme. For example, a Ferris wheel where the carts are painted like Pokeballs.
Of course, you're here for me to review a game, not to listen to me talk about a closed-down amusement park. In all honesty, Poképark Wii Pikachu's Adventure is a really bad and disappointing video game.
The game starts out in Monochrome Town, where Pikachu, Charmander, Chikorita, and Piplup are playing a game of chase. Mew comes in and teleports them to a mysterious land. Upon arriving there, Pikachu learns the horrible truth. Mew is a giant asshole and Pikachu is free-falling towards the ground without a parachute. Unfortunately, reality doesn't ensue. However, he is knocked unconscious and Mew appears in a dream and explains the plot of the game. Unfortunately, Pikachu wasn't transported into
the best Zelda game ever,
and was instead put into a crappy Pokemon spin-off. The plot. The Sky Pavilion is going to come crashing down upon the Poképark, killing all the Pokemon inside. Unless Pikachu reunites the 14 pieces of the Sky Prism. The Sky Prism was broken apart because everyone inside the Poképark began acting like a bunch of jackasses and stopped being friends. Apparently, none of them have seen When They Cry and don't realize that when you don't trust your friends, bad things happen.
In order to get the Sky Prism pieces, you have to compete in minigames. Sound easy? It is.
The minigames are called attractions, and to get to each one, you have to travel across the Poképark in a light action-adventure style. Stopping you from reaching each attraction is a bunch of Pokemon apparently having nothing better to do than pad the game. And as the player character, it is up to you to fix everyone's problems. Apparently, the only Pokemon that Mew has told that the Sky Pavilion could fall was Pikachu. Any other Pokemon who was told anything by Mew was just told to hold the Sky Prism pieces until someone cleared their attraction. In the meantime, they could just stand there while the Sky Pavilion fell on them, killing them. What an asshole. On that note, the more you do, the more populated the Poképark becomes, which bugs me. If there is a giant object in the sky that could crash down at any moment and kill everybody in the Poképark, wouldn't you want to warn people to stay away? I mean, even Gerald Robotnik gave everyone a warning that was 27 minutes and 53 seconds long, and he was insane. In the attractions, you can play as any Pokemon that you've become a friend with, although Pikachu is the only Pokemon that can participate in every attraction under certain conditions. Just in case you thought you were going to miss out on that exciting and riveting friend code gameplay and that absolutely genius event Pokemon, you can insert passwords. For example, one password in the instruction manual allows you to get a surfing Pikachu.
Thankfully, there's no surfing on lava this time.
To make friends, you have to play one of 5 skill games. Chase, which is self-explanatory, not that it stops the game from giving you any tutorials. Hide and Seek, see previous comment. Quiz is where you're asked 3 questions. Obstacle Hop, a platforming segment where you have to jump across several platforms, or a battle. The battle skill game is a real-time battle, and something I've been waiting for since Pokemon Stadium. Your opponents generally have 2 moves, a long-distance attack and a close-range attack. Pikachu, on the other hand, has the ability to dodge by double-tapping in a direction, jumping by pressing the 2 button, dashing and tackling into an opponent by pressing the 1 button, and a Thunderbolt by pressing the A button. Type immunities do apply. Later in the game, you gain Iron Tail by shaking the remote. Since you can't level up, you can train to increase your stats in the meeting ground. While these battles are a welcome break from the regular turn-based battles in the main series, I can't help but feel that this was a missed opportunity. If the battle system was a little bit more complex and there was a 2-player mode where you could fight between any Pokemon you've made friends with, I could see this being a standout addition to the game, even if not every single Pokemon from generations 1 to 4 is in it.
Now, let's talk about the minigames. Since it's on the Wii, you have 3 guesses for what the minigames involve. The first 2 don't count.
My only hope going into this was that the minigames were as good as the minigames in Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. Are they? I don't know. That's probably nostalgia talking, and I was a giant moron and sold my Nintendo 64 a long time ago, so I can't find out. Though, from what I remember, Pokemon Stadium has one big advantage. All of the minigames can be played by 4 players. These minigames are a solo affair. There are only 14 minigames. Surprisingly, there is a lot of repetition. For example, Bulbasaur's Daring Dash is repeated as Dusknoir's Speed Slam and Absol's Hurdle Bounce later in the game. The base of racing to the finish is still there, however there are now obstacles which you either have to smash through or jump over depending on the minigame. In a similar vein, there is also Pelipper's Circle Circuit and Salamance's Air Ace. In the first you have to fly through rings, in the second you can either smash through targets or hit them with an attack. Even if the scoring mechanics are slightly different, you're still playing the same minigame. There is also Gyarados' Aqua Dash and Imploleon's Snow Slide. The first, you're swimming around an island while trying to get speed boosts, and the second, you're sliding down a hill trying to get speed boosts. The only difference is the cosmetic changes. You're playing the same minigame but with a different name. Of the 14 minigames, I only found 2 mildly entertaining. The first was Bastiodon's Block Barrage. This might have had something to do with the complete lack of a time limit or motion controls. The second was Rhyperior's Bumper Burn. The reason why I found that entertaining was the exact same reason why I found the spinner in Twilight Princess entertaining. Bad Beyblade jokes. The option to play as different Pokemon is nice, but playing an unfun minigame as Turtwig is the exact same as playing an unfun minigame as Pikachu. Surprisingly, I found the loading screens entertaining simply because of the amount of things Pikachu does in them. The game can be completed in less than 7 hours, and I wasn't exactly ready to jump right back in after finishing it. Any additional replay value comes from getting all of the Pokemon on your friends list and turning them into best friends and completing the minigames with every single Pokemon to get their bonuses. In summary, the amount of minigames is small when compared to other offerings on the Wii. Very few minigames feel polished, replaying them is incredibly tedious, and the lack of multiplayer is disappointing. The most enjoyable things I found were the real-time battles, the loading screens, drawing parallels to much better games, and constantly trying to view Mew as a giant asshole. If you need another minigame collection on the Wii, look elsewhere.
Maria, this is what you wanted, right? This is my promise I made to you.